I am Becca of BookTube and I am burdened with glorious books! Hey everyone and welcome to May's TBR Assemble. If you don't know what TBR Assemble is, I'll leave a link up above to my original explanation video, but essentially this is my TBR game where Thanos is coming and I need to collect the Avengers and the Infinity Stones to stop him. And with that, let's get into the roll. But quickly before I go into the rolls, actually, before I forget, I'm doing 2 readathons this month. They are Clear Your Shit and also Whateverathon. For Whateverathon, I'm going to be on teams Dreams and Drama Queens. And with that, let's get into the rolls. So today's little avatar is going to be a Loki with the Tesseract, because obviously that is where Loki is going to be starting this month. So let's get into the rolls. Roll number 1 is a 4, and I'm going to go this way, so space, and that is Carol, Wayfarer series for 2 points. So my first prompt was Carol Danvers, which is to read a book in the Wayfarer series, and I've currently only got one of those, and that is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. Now, this is covering 3 prompts for the Whateverathon and none for the Clear Your Shit readathon. So for Whateverathon, it's counting for author debut because this is Becky Chambers' first book. It's also counting for indie/self-published because this was originally self-published by Becky Chambers before it was picked up by Hodder, and it's also counting for the first letter is the same as the last letter in the title because both of them are T's. And apart from that, I know basically nothing about this book further than the fact that it's a character-driven sci-fi set on a ship. And I think there's some sort of job of a lifetime or something. I basically know nothing about this one, I'm not going to lie, because I like going into hyped books occasionally quite blind, and I feel like this may be one of them. So all I know is the fact that this is really, really hyped, and I'm finally going to be getting to it after it's been sat on my shelves for a good 2-3 years now, so I can't wait. Roll number 2 is another 4, so 4. And that is Lady Sif, Shadowhunters for 3 points. So I said last month to hold me accountable to read a Shadowhunters book, and then Shadowhunters came up, so I'm finally going to be reading City of Heavenly Fire because apparently the universe is telling me I need to finish this series, so I'm finally going to be doing it. I feel very called out, but essentially this is the final book in the original Mortal Instruments series, following Clary and Jace and the rest of the team as they try to take down Sebastian and stuff like this. This is all I really know. Again, I haven't really read the back of this book whatsoever. I like going into these ones essentially blind because I know so much already about the series because it's been out so often. I've just sort of absorbed knowledge about it essentially, so I try not to read too much into these. Apart from that, it's only covering 1 prompt as well for the Whateverathon, and that is hauled in the last year because I bought the box set of this with these spines and these covers literally like 2 months ago now. Roll number 3 is a 5, so I'm gonna go for that one. That is Steve, an old book for 2 points. My next prompt was Steve, which is to read an older book, and that's why I'm going to be squeezing in Skullduggery Pleasant Book 5, Mortal Coil. Now this one was published in 2010, so it's 11 years old, so I'm counting it as an older book, and I'm very excited to read this one. This is the 5th one in the Skullduggery Pleasant series. I can't tell you much about it because obviously it's the 5th one in the series, but it is following a young girl called Valkyrie who ends up teaming up with Skullduggery Pleasant, who is a magical skeleton detective, as they solve crimes and try to save the world from various magical threats in Ireland. And I love the series. I love being part of the Dead Famous read along. I'm loving co-hosting it and everything else, and I'm just really excited to read this one. It's also going to be covering a hell of a lot of prompts as well. For the Clear Readathon, it's covering all but 1 prompt, and those prompts it's covering is Candles, Bells, Chalice, Incense, Grimoire and Bag of Teeth. It's literally covering every prompt that isn't outside of your comfort zone, because this is very inside my comfort zone. So it's covering all of those prompts, and then it's also covering for the Whateverathon comfort read, fit a TBR game prompt, and also buddy read, because obviously this is part of the Dead Famous read along, but I'm also buddy reading it with Abby from Abbey of Pelennor because we've read further into the series than the rest of our co-hosts and the rest of everybody else who's reading this series, so we like comparing notes and sort of pointing out the foreshadow to each other and talking spoilers for the entire series without ruining it for everyone else. So I can't wait to read this one. And I'm also going to be reading Apocalypse Kings, which is the short novella based after this book, and this one was the World Book Day book for 20 2021 actually, and I haven't read it yet because I've been specifically saving it for when we read this book. So yeah, it's not counted for any prompts as far as I know, but I am excited to read it. Roll number 4 is a 3, so 3. I'll just go with that one. That is Shuri, a black main character or author, for 3 points. My next prompt was Shuri, which was a black main character or black author, and I'm going for Cinderella is Dead for this because at the moment, at time of filming, Cinderella in the West End is still going ahead, and I'm going to be watching this on like one of its opening days, and I'm very, very excited for it. And what I've been doing is saving Cinderella retellings for when I go see the show, and so at the moment Cinderella is happening, so I'm reading Cinderella is Dead. This one is set after the Cinderella story has finished, and what has happened is the fact that Prince Charming is actually quite evil, and every single year girls who come of age go to the ball to get picked by men, and if they don't get picked they're never seen from again, and that's all I really know, but I am excited to read this one. And this one is covering the POC rep for the Whatever-a-thon. But in saying that, I do also have a backup plan just in case Cinderella doesn't go ahead. If Cinderella doesn't go ahead, I will be reading The Banks, because this is by Roxane Gay and it's a heist story, and I've just been really wanting to read heist stories recently, so I'll be reading The Banks if Cinderella doesn't go ahead. If Cinderella does go ahead, Cinderella is Dead is happening. Roll number 5 is a 4. Again, I seem to be rolling a lot of 4s today, so 4. I'm just gonna pick that one, and that is Hella, a villain origin story, for 3 points. My next prompt was Hella, which is a villain origin story, so I'm going for All the Ever Afters, which is a retelling and the origin story of the evil stepmother of Cinderella. And obviously, again, this comes with the same caveat as Cinderella is Dead did, in the terms of if Cinderella happens in the West End, I will be reading this one. If it doesn't, I'll instead be reading something different. For that, I'm going to be going for X23, Innocence Lost, because even though she isn't technically a villain, I'm going to count it for this, because it turns out I do not own that many villain origin stories, and there aren't even that many about, so I may have to tweak this prompt a little bit later, but at the moment, that is my current plan. This is also going to be counting as well for the Whatever-a-thon's prompt for team colours on the cover, because there is tiny bits of green on here, so I'm counting it. Mainly the green's there in that writing, but it counts. There's a tiny bit of green, therefore the team colours are on the cover. And the final roll is a 5, so that is, oh no, it's a snap, a book I've been putting off. And my final prompt is the one I was worried about, and that was getting a snap prompt, and this one is obviously a book that I've been putting off. And so I'm going to be using the Avengers Reading Challenge book for a book that I've been putting off, because I've been actively avoiding this book, and that is This Is How You Lose the Time War. Because I don't want to read This Is How You Lose the Time War, because it is a romance, and I know it is a wibbly wobbly timey wimey romance, and I like wibbly wobbly timey wimey stories. I'm a big fan of Doctor Who and stuff like this, so I'm fine with wibbly wobbly timey wimey. I'm not okay with romance stories. Romance just isn't for me. I've been putting off reading this book for years. I've been actively avoiding it for years. So I'm going to be using it for this prompt because I'm going to need to, essentially. But also, this is also going outside of my comfort zone as well for the Clear Your Readathon and also the Whatever-a-thon, because obviously it's outside of my comfort zone in terms of it being a romance, but also because I'm going to be listening to it on audiobook, because I can get it for free on audiobook. So I decided that I was going to combine two birds with one stone and listen to it while I'm doing other things, and also seeing if I can actually listen to audiobooks, because I haven't really given it a try in a few years, so maybe my wonky brain is better. Probably not, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. And then we go on to the comics, because it's Loki month. It's Loki month. Of course I've got Loki comics. I am Loki trash. Like, I thought I was trash for the Winter Soldier. No, I'm Loki trash. I am completely and utterly Loki trash, and I am slightly scared of the person I'm going to become in June. But besides the point, I have quite a few Loki comics as well to read, so let's just get into it. And the first comics I'm mentioning is the Agents of Asgard series. Now this is Trust Me, I Cannot Tell a Lie and Last Days, and this is following Loki after he's been reincarnated as a teenager and he's now working as an agent of Asgard, essentially. That's all I really know. I have read Trust Me before, but it was on my laptop and for some reason it wouldn't zoom in on individual panels, so I kept on missing quite a lot of it because I couldn't read it, essentially. So I'm now excited to read it in paperback and just find out more about this and get some like solo Loki action, essentially. I can't wait. I'm really excited. And it also covers the Whatever-a-thon prompts as well for team colours on the cover, because you can double up on loads of prompts on the Whatever-a-thon and you can also redo prompts as many times as you like. So green on the cover and Loki just fits perfectly. I did not choose my team based on just the green thing, but it certainly helped. I'm also reading Vote Loki because this is actually getting adapted into the TV show. If you've seen the trailer, you'll see that he is actually wearing this outfit at one point at the end, and also they're all wearing the Vote Loki badges, so there's no better time to read this than now because it's literally coming in the TV series. I've then also got The God That Fell to Earth. Now this one actually ties into the Thor series, if I remember rightly, which I admittedly haven't read yet, but I'm saving that for when Love and Thunder comes out, so never mind. But essentially this one's going for the 5-star prediction. Quite frankly, any of these could count for the 5-star prediction, but I'm going to count that one as 5 stars, and I'm really excited for it because again, it's Loki. I've got nothing apart from the fact that it is Loki. And then the final 3 I've got is Journey into Mystery, and again, I don't really know much about this further than the fact that it's focusing on Loki. I needed to know nothing else. Literally, I needed to know nothing else. I was just like, it's about Loki, mine now. So I can't wait. But again, the caveat is the same as always with these comics. I may not read all of these in the 1 month because obviously there is also the final 2 episodes airing in July, so I'm going to be spreading these out across the 6 weeks, but I'm adding them all in here just so I can sort of pick and choose as I go. And then the final prompt for the Whatever-a-thon I haven't covered is the poll prompt. Now this is the results of the poll I posted on Twitter. I don't currently know what the results are, but you will now know, and I will know when I'm editing this video, so that is the final one I'm going to be reading. And that is absolutely everything I'm going to be reading in the month of May. Now obviously that sounds like a lot, but it is only 140 pages a day if you don't count the comics, which I do already have a plan for, so hopefully, fingers crossed, should be fine. I've done more than that before, so should be fine. Should be fine. Hoping, fingers crossed. And with that, that is the end of TBR Assemble for June. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below if you've read any of the books I've mentioned. I'd love to know what you thought about them. Or if you're just excited for Loki, I'd love to find more Loki fans. I'll also leave a link down below to all my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here. And over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time, everyone, bye!